Hey everybody, Steve here at the Illinois Recording Studio. Man, I haven't played in a while, and I got a couple things going on for this video, but first of all, I'll talk to you about the cool stuff. So, here we have a 5x14 Ludwig Jazz Fest snare in Champagne Sparkle. The strainer's been replaced with the Ludwig Millennium strainer, but it fits in the same holes. And the bearing edges on this drum were recut. Drum sounds great, nickel hardware. It's up on Reverb, and I think it's still for sale. Somebody was looking at it the other day. Beyond that, we've got a very, very cool Black Galaxy Sparkle Ludwig kit. And Galaxy Sparkle was a very, very cool finish. It's got like these little red and green color flecks in it, and gold, as opposed to like Black Sparkle, which is just black with silver specks. So this is very, very cool, and the color's nice and strong. It's an early 60s kit. These are 4-digit serial numbers on the 12, 8x12, and the 14, and actually 12x22, New Yorker size. The 1616 floor tom's a little later, 5-digit serial number beginning with 50. Cool set. The shells are in great shape. The hardware has seen its day. It's got nicks, scratches, and the like, so I'm calling it a player grade set, but there's no extra holes, and it's a really, really rare color. Bass drum hoops could use a proper refin, but that will leave that up for the next owner to do. The cymbal arm is there, that's, original. But again, the 12x22 bass drum and the 8x12 were part of what they called a New Yorker set, designed to be small, fit in the taxi cabs because it's a shallower depth. Sometimes you had a 14-inch floor with them, sometimes no floor, sometimes a 16. This one's got a 12, 16 with a 22, 12x22. Then, the cymbals are a set of Zildjian KP100s. This stuff is great. The 15-inch hats are K-Lite hats, wonderful things. There's a 17 and a 19-inch K Dark Thin Crash. They're both wonderful. And then the 22 is a K Light Ride. So they're beautiful cymbals, great for jazz. They're just fantastic. Now, what I want to do to demo this, I was thinking about this the other day. When we do solos, you tend to have a certain way you do a solo. So for me, mine are somewhat snare drum centric in how they start. I start from the snare drum. I do a lot of things from the snare drum, and that's okay. But what I want to do here is explain that when you see a lot of people do drum solos, for example, the drum solo actually ought to be called a drum set solo, because a lot of drum solos, people are using the drums, but they don't use the cymbals for anything other than a crash here and there. But they can be a more integral part of that. The other part of it is you want to move the way you create the solo around a little bit. So the worst thing for me is to not always be snare drum centric with how I do everything. I notice I fall back to certain patterns and I start them from here and I do other things. So you want to mix that up. But you also want to mix in two other things that are very important. One is space, the use of space. So not fill every single 16th note with something. Just leave some space. And the other, which is always critically missing, not always, but a lot of times critically missing, is dynamics. So I'm going to try to haul myself in here and do something a little bit along the lines of what I just said, to try to pull myself out of my normal structure and do something a little different. So we shall give it a try. Here we go.